So there is that still small voice that's speaking to us, can I be close to you? That which has called us to be here in this room. You could have been 100 different places today, but you chose to be here in this experience, in this community, and in this garden. And that voice is saying, can I be close to you? Can I be closer to you? It's the same thing that we say when we come together, creating an environment of intimacy. Can I be closer to you? Yes, we love each other. But is there more intimacy that can happen here as we get to the depth of who we are as individuals and our human experience where we're struggling, when the sun is going down and setting and when the sun is rising? All of this earthly experience, can I be close to you? And the answer is an emphatic yes. That's why we come together every Sunday and every Wednesday. This time of year, I don't know about you, but I really look forward. It's my time of year to getting out and cleaning out that fire pit in my backyard and sitting down there with a chill in the air. It's sweatshirt weather. I love sweatshirt weather. Put that fire, I feel the warmth of the fire, the chill of the air on my face, the beautiful fall colors that are in my backyard. There's family, there's friends, there's s'mores, there's chocolate and marshmallows. There's no mosquitoes. It's just cool enough that the mosquitoes leave my white English skin alone. During the summer, they eat me alive. And inevitably what happens in this moment when I'm enjoying all of these great and beautiful and wonderful things, feeling a sense of closeness, I begin to look at my backyard that I should have looked at last summer. And I begin to look at all the things that I should have tended last spring that I didn't touch. And suddenly, the beautiful environment that I was experiencing isn't quite so beautiful as I begin to look at that which may have been neglected. Anybody else do that? You know, the real kicker is I begin to look at the things that should have been done 4 years ago. And suddenly, I'm not enjoying the backyard nearly as much. I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but there's a part of me that knows that I haven't been really taking care of business. It was a garden. It's a beautiful garden. I spent hours of labor and sweat equity in there making this beautiful backyard, at least it was at one point. But I realize I haven't been tending the garden like I should. Now, I don't like the word should. I don't know about you. There's not going to be no shoulding on anybody today. But the longer I avoid taking care of business in the backyard, the less enjoyable the fall nights become. There's a causal reality. The less I take care of business in the garden, the more I'm not enjoying the beautiful gathering around the fire pit. Inevitably, questions come to mind. Any gardeners in the room? I ask those questions, and I get the answers every year, and I don't know why I don't remember. When should I be pruning that tree? When should I have pruned that tree? When should I, and this is the one always, when should I be trimming the rose bush? To make the healthiest rose bush, when should I be actually taking some of the dead wood out? And I ask questions like, what plants in my garden need a little bit of extra care? Which ones maybe didn't get the attention they need? Or maybe which plants need to move from one location to another so they can thrive? Anybody ever ask that question of yourself, your spiritual life? Movement is sometimes required. And then inevitable questions is, why is that dead plant still in my yard? Why have I not dug it up at this point? Which ones don't belong in the garden anymore? All of it is an incredible metaphor for spiritual life, especially if you're a minister. That's the third thought. I'm loving the warmth. I'm loving the s'mores. I should have tended this garden. How can I use this for a talk? And it's actually a very easy bridge to make. Each of us in one form or another is on a journey of tending the garden of your soul, the garden of your community, the garden of the world, or not on that journey. It's the Garden of Eden. Garden of Eden is not some far-off place that we're trying to get back to way back then, or someplace we fell from. It's existing at the center of who we are. That's the garden of your soul. The perfection lives and breathes and has its being within each and every one here in this room. It's a state of consciousness when the soul and the spirit, the body and the mind are all in harmony. This is the goal of unity. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder, says this. Let's read it together. Eden is the divine idea of perfect life and mind. It exists as potential in every soul. You see, we cannot be separate from that which we are. We are a part, an intrinsic part of the Garden of Eden. We can't be separate from it. But we get together on Sundays and we read books and we do workshops and we have classes looking. Where's Eden? We got to get back there. Where is Eden? Where is that divine balance of harmony with my soul and my life and my body and my mind? We're looking outside of ourselves when it's there all along. It exists within us. An anonymous rabbi, the second quote there. Let's read that together. Before the world was created, God planted a garden in the heart of every soul, so that wherever we go, we might remember home. We are one thought. We are one idea. We're one feeling. We're one action. We're one moment about remembering home is right where we are. Take a breath with me and put your hands on your chest if you are so led. Take that breath. This is home. This is the Garden of Eden. This is the oneness that we talk about. This is the love that we talk about. No, I need to go over here. I need to go to this church or that gathering to find it. No, you don't. It's right there in the breath that you just took. It's right there in the heartbeat. Eden still lives within us. And when we come together, which is what we do, you can take your hand off your heart if you want. But if it feels good, just keep it there. Can I get close to you? It lives, and we come together in community to light a fire. In the front yard, the backyard, the side yard of community, of family. And we light a fire. And we throw tinder on that fire to be warmed by the closeness, to be warmed by the community. This is a garden. This community is a beautiful garden. And sometimes we neglect it. This is a beautiful garden. When was the last time you did something within the garden to tend it, to grow it, to nurture it, to fertilize it? And when we light the fire, when we come together, we get a first-hand look at what maybe we haven't tended for a while. That which maybe we haven't paid attention to for a while, whether or not we've taken care of the garden with the respect and the care that it deserves. For this month, this is the first in a 4-part series. So those of you who are gardeners, we're going to spend time in the garden because it's full of wonderful metaphors. We're going to step back into the garden of our soul, but we're not going to do it as tourists. So many of us come into a garden like this, you're coming as a spectator. I'm here to receive. Only to receive and to just look at things and make note of what I like and what I don't like. I'm asking you not to come into the garden as a tourist, but as a caretaker, but as an owner, as the gardener yourself, tending the garden of your own soul, your own spirit, and the soul and the spirit of this community, and indirectly then the soul and the spirit of the entire earth. I'm asking us as a community to put our overalls on, to get out your work gloves. And so, many people get into the spiritual path thinking it's going to be all peaches and cream and a bed of roses and easy. And then you neglect the garden and you go out and have a fire and you go, I think there's some work that needs to be done here. The fire lights that which is needing to be exposed. That's a holy thing. That's a good thing. So accountability is a part of what we do here in the Garden of Unity North. On our path of evolution and enlightenment, these are not one-time events. Oh, I did a meditation, now I'm enlightened. I did a prayer. I went to church once. Now suddenly everything's right with the world. No, it's not a one-time event. You see, tending the garden is a state of being that requires regular tending, regular nurturing, regular pruning, regular weeding, and regular fertilizing. Now, there's the say that what I speak here on Sunday could be good fertilizer. I'll let you figure out that bridge there. How many people have ever cleaned your house, cleaned your garage? That's the big one. Oh, you got that garage finally clean, went into your inbox and cleared out that inbox on the computer, and you thought, I'm finally done. You rake the yard of all the leaves in the fall, and you say, my work is complete. Only 3 days later to have the universe laugh and say, isn't that adorable? Isn't that cute? The leaves come back, the laundry multiplies. I don't know how it happens, but it does. The garage, there are garage gnomes or something. You ever know that I just cleaned the garage, how can it be cluttered up again? And that inbox, that email that you should have sent 3 days ago has suddenly cloned itself and multiplied like a rabbit in your inbox. And now there's 50 of them. Overwhelm, overwhelm, overwhelm. There's weeds in the garden. Overwhelm. There's pruning that's needed in the garden. I should have taken care of this, but I didn't. The spiritual life is like that. How many of us have breakthroughs, revelations, mountaintop experiences in epiphanal moments, and then Spirit says to us, good work, beautiful work, beloved gardener. Let's begin again. Say that with me. Let's begin again. And most people go, okay, I'm ready to do it. That was kind of fun. Let's begin again. And we get to the end, whew, and the still small voice says, let's begin again. Okay, let's begin again. Forget it. It's too much work. It's too much work. Most of the people walking this planet today get to that point 3 or 4 beginnings in and say, it's not worth it. I'm too tired. I'm worn out. Anybody ever been there? You know, there's a Zen idea, a Buddhist Zen idea that I absolutely love that says before enlightenment, you all know it, right? Chop wood, carry water. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. I'm working towards enlightenment. I'm getting there. Chop wood, carry the water. This is good. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Wait a minute. Haven't I been elevated to a position and a status where I'm one with God? Maybe for a moment, but if you don't tend the garden, you're going to be falling out of that very quickly. You see, the fall from grace, the proverbial metaphorical fall from grace, is not a one-time event. It's a moment-to-moment forgetting. It's a day-to-day forgetting that the spiritual path requires us to get our hands dirty and to work and to get tired and to celebrate. In other words, enlightenment, let's put that slide up there and read it together. Enlightenment doesn't lift us out of life's work. It deepens our participation in it. Breathe that in for a second. Enlightenment is not about escaping the work. It's about a relationship with being on earth at this time. It's not escaping the earthly existence. It's actually building a sense of synergy and cohesion and relationship with everything that's happening on earth. A lot of people, and I've said this many times before, and I'm going to keep repeating it because they keep coming into the room. A lot of spiritual seekers are like junkies. You come in, entertain me. Entertain me. Give me some beautiful music by Kristen Hope Justice, and then I'll leave and I'll be just fine. And then we go out into the world forgetting everything that happened in this room, in the garden. And then we come back and maybe at Christmas, maybe at Easter, maybe in 6 months. Oh, I want to enjoy the fire of the backyard. And I realize, I got a lot of stuff that needs to be dealt with. You see, there is importance in consistency. There is importance in embracing this journey as not a destination, but as a journey. We have the breakthroughs, the revelations, the mountaintops, and then Spirit says, beautiful work, gardener, let's begin again. And they're junkies. No, just give me the next workshop. When is there going to be a guest speaker, a really juicy guest speaker? I'm going to buy a ticket and come in. Hit me, baby. Yeah, I feel really good. And then we walk out there and we ignore our spiritual path. We don't take the good of whatever speaker was up or whatever song was sung, and we're back in 6 months. I need another hit, baby. And the reality is that's not a spiritual path at all. That's fooling yourself, and it's not tending to the garden of your soul. It's allowing the soil to get very hard. And guess what you know as a junkie? You get hit enough times, you no longer get the high. So you're sitting out at the fire going, it's fall, there's pretty colors, I'm at the fire, and I don't enjoy any of it. None of it has any joy because I haven't done the work necessary to enjoy the work. We like the feeling, the wonderful feeling of the garden, but we're completely unwilling to put in the work to keep it fresh, to keep it growing, to keep it vital. And so my question for all of us, and I'm just asking you, don't want an answer, do you have a spiritual hobby or do you have a spiritual practice? I ask myself that question all the time. Is what I am doing on my spiritual walk a hobby or a practice? You get to answer. But let me tell you, the depth, can I come close to you? As the song said, can I come close to you? The voice says, not if it's a hobby. Doesn't work. Can I be close to you in community? Can I be close to you as a fellow traveler on earth, a brother and a sister in the light and in the love? Not if you have a hobby. And this garden will not be of any value to you if you come on Christmas and Easter, or you come when it is convenience. We are not a convenience store garden. Spiritual community can be for you a convenience store, but you're not going to receive the depth of what is available here in the relationships, in the tending and the tilling of the garden. And so in Genesis chapter 2, right out of the gate in the Bible, the main textbook of unity, we get the roadmap and the instructions for living on earth. Let's read it together. God took the human and put them in the garden to till it and to keep it. There's a whole bunch of people that think, if they read the Genesis, that we were put here to have dominion over the world, to have all the power. That is a mistranslation of what was going on there. We are here to till it. We are here to be responsible for the garden. The garden here, the garden here, and the garden here. And if we don't spend time in the garden, you're going to go looking for the fire, and it's not going to have the same feeling. To constantly and regularly nurture the divine ideas. That's what we do. Love, hope, peace, joy, harmony, understanding, goodness, abundance, health, prosperity. It's good to work together, because when we work together in the garden, many hands make light work. We've all heard it, right? And so where there are two or more gathered in the name of a possibility, we're going to work the garden together. And sometimes it will be uncomfortable, sometimes it will be joyous, sometimes it will be easy, but we'll sit down at the fire on Sunday morning and go, look what we have done. Look what God has done through us, around us, and as us. We keep the fire alive through the changing seasons, whether it's a sunrise or a sunset, as the song said. We keep the fire alive, the garden fresh. Our task is not to visit the garden when it is convenient, but to live within it as a gardener. And the voice I hear falling on my ear, the light of God discloses. The love of God walks with me because I walk with the love. The light of God walks with me and talks to me because I am in relationship with it, not just when it is convenient. A spiritual life is not a one-time bloom. It's a living rhythm of planting, pruning, tending, trimming. So how do you, in your spiritual path, do those things? Prune, tend, fertilize. What is it you do? That's not rhetorical. I want to hear it. Call it out. If you don't know, go back to the garden and figure it out. But here are my answers. Every time we pray, every time we meditate, every time we give thanks, every time we forgive, every time we serve, every time we study, every time we bless another human being, every time we take a Sabbath and a breath, every time we unite and invest in a spiritual community, we are gardening our souls. But we know, because we're one, you're not just gardening your soul, you're making an impact on somebody else. You know, we have a lot of viewers. There's as many people online watching as there are in the room. Some of those people, I'm going to speak directly to those people right now. They live within 5 minutes of Unity North, 10 minutes of Unity North. And I say, I missed you at church. Oh, I'm watching online. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm grateful for the guys up there that make sure we can reach people in California, Texas, Idaho, and New York. But I'm speaking directly to those who are 5 minutes away. I haven't seen for 6 months. It's a one-way thing. We teach sacred reciprocity in this church, sacred eini. And this congregation is not blessed by those who are online, not showing up once in a while when you live this close. I ask, when you guys are all doing the greeting every week, I'm talking to those people. I don't know if you've noticed that. And there is a thread of connection between us that we send. But I want the greater value. I know some of those people, and they are amazing. And when they come into this room, this place is brighter. The garden is brighter. It's more beautiful. And so I'm speaking directly to you. When you make a decision, I'm tired, I'm home alone, and it's cold out, and I don't want to go, I'll just watch online. Just be aware that the responsibility for this garden is not just for you. It is for the one person in this room who will be touched by your presence when you sit down and say, we belong to each other. Let's work the garden of each other's soul together. And what I do in my backyard, it gets overwhelming. I get it. Raising a community takes a village. I go to my backyard and it seems so overwhelming. If I haven't done any pruning or trimming or weeding for 6 years, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. If I haven't done that, it's saying, I don't know where to start. All these weeds, where do I start? One at a time. One life at a time. One prayer at a time. One meditation at a time. One dragging my tired butt out of the bed and into the room at a time. Small acts done with great love. Oscar Wilde said it. Let's put Oscar Wilde's quote up there and read it together. The smallest act of kindness is worth more than the grandest intention. We, as New Thought people, have you noticed this about New Thought? We have a tendency to be the most visionary people on the planet. We are idea people. It's like, I can think about 1,000 things that the church should be doing. I can think of 1,000 things that you should be doing as a member of my family. Yes, you should get busy doing this. And then we go, I'm good. I gave you my idea. How many remember the kid's story, Henny Penny? And it's like, who will help me bake the bread? Not I, said the cow. Not I, said the donkey. Not I, said the goose. Who will help me get the wheat to bake the bread? Not I, not I, not I, not I. Who will help me bake the bread? Not the pig, not the chicken, not anybody. Nope, I'm not going to do it. So Henny Penny bakes the bread and then asks the question, who will help me eat the bread? The whole farm is ready to eat the bread. But the reality is the bread runs out if there aren't enough people in the baking, in the harvesting, and in the growing, and in the tending of the garden. The bread runs out, and then you got a nice warm fire, and you're not enjoying any of it because there was no sweat equity. There was no time and energy put into the garden. I don't want to be like that. You matter. Everybody in this room has touched somebody's life in this room and made a difference to somebody in this room, whether you've come once or 100 times. You matter. Your presence, your spirit, your light, your talent, your goodness. It makes a difference to the people in this room. It makes a difference to this community. It is the garden. And so we ask ourselves, what small act can I do to contribute before the supply runs out? And the first step is to soften what has been compacted. Any gardeners know if the soil's bad, you aren't going to grow anything in the garden. Where has the soil of consciousness been hardened in you? And I'm seeing it all over. There's plenty of evidence of the compacted soil. It's the judgments, it's the defensiveness, the resentments, the old stories, the reluctance, and I'm going to call it out, it's spiritual laziness. It's a lot of work to dig into this soil. I'm just too tired to do it. That's spiritual laziness. I'm saying that's when you need to do it the most, is when you're tired. Dig in with a shovel and ask the questions, where have I banished someone from the garden of my heart? That's in the world today. Where have I banished somebody from the garden? I love everybody. Everybody's the face of God, just not them. You got some work to do. Get back to the garden and dig up the hardened soil. Where have I banished someone from the garden of my heart, or placed anyone outside the walls of my love and allowed the soil of my existence to become hardened? Get back into the garden and tend it, or the fire is eventually going to be of no value to you. Just because I didn't pay attention. Where have I become lazy? Where have I been remiss about tending this beautiful gift of God, which is the place of love, the Garden of Eden within me? Where am I creating an environment where roots cannot be put down deep? This environment here, and any environment you're in, without your participation, without your involvement, without your regular, consistent attendance, is hard ground, and you're going to come in and go, I don't feel roots here. That's not our fault. I don't feel roots here or there or anywhere I go because the ground has gotten hard. Come and be a part of loosening the soil, of fertilizing the soil. Jesus talks about the parable of the sower. Basically says, good soil produces what? Good fruit. That's it. Good soil produces good fruit. Good soil produces good fruit. I'm saying give hands to your prayers. Give feet to your meditations. Give hands and feet and action to your vision for the life that you could possibly live. A lot of people are just waiting around. Okay, I'm going to have the perfect life of abundance and health and well-being and community and family and love, and the love of my life is coming to me. Put one foot in front of the other and create the very garden that you were seeking out here. As it is within, so shall it be without. Good soil will produce good fruit. If we don't plan, water, and fertilize the world that we want, the community that we want, the life that we want, internally and externally, we're not going to get it. And what happens is the world's going to rush in and plant the stuff in your backyard that you don't want. If you don't plant, the world's going to rush in and put it in your backyard, your front yard, your side yard, your spiritual yard. It's true for yourself, it's true for the community, and it's true for the world. I'm going to invite the band to come back up. The fifth unity principle is absolutely my favorite of the unity principles. It's why I do ministry. The first four are really amazing spiritual truths, but let's read the fifth one together. The truth I know is the truth that I demonstrate. It's not enough to know the truth. We must live the truth we know. Oh, don't you just hate that? I mean, I got to take responsibility. I got to get busy. I got to put my body, my mind, my heart, my spirit, my time, my finances behind it. Yes, you do. Investment in, blessing out. Good consciousness in, participation in, good blessings out. A garden is not tended by pretty theories, pretty good ideas, and wonderful suggestions. It's tended by hands willing to get dirty, willing to put in the time, the effort, and the energy. The fifth principle, a little music maestro, means showing up in the garden more than occasionally. Fully conscious to do one small act of kindness right here, to do one small act of goodness right here, and to change somebody's life right here. In spiritual community, it means being an active, not a passive member of the garden. When you're here, you make a difference, one small act of kindness at a time. And you may not like the music. You may not like what this guy had to say. That's not why anybody's coming here. If you're coming here because of the music and me, you're coming for the wrong reason. Come as a gardener to get your hands dirty and to know more about yourself. And maybe when I piss you off and tick you off, that's exactly what you needed. To go, oh, I haven't paid attention to the garden for a while. And then we'll build a fire together, and together we will create something so beautiful that we become a beacon in Cobb County that is absolutely necessary. You make a difference. Be a gardener. And so the fire can more thoroughly be enjoyed. And God walks with me. Love walks with me. And God and love and light tell me I am their own. Now get busy with the fire in your belly, the fire of your soul, the garden of Eden that you were designed to be. And then maybe, this time next year, this is a full house and not a convenience store. And maybe your life and the dream that you're walking into is not just a pretty vision, but it's a current reality. That's why we do what we do. The board of directors and our executive director, Anthony, asked me to put a few things out there before we get into the offering, just for information purposes. Do you know that we have a $1.3 million mortgage on this garden? Do you know that it costs about $3,040 a day in order to tend this garden? Do you know that we have an aging garden, both the building and the population? And this idea of sacred ine, the only way this place survives, the only way this place is here next year, 10 years, and 100 years from now is sacred ine, a South American tradition, sacred reciprocity. You know, we have this beautiful garden in the back. I love gardening. I grew up with a family garden. But my grandparents taught me, Richard, you can't just enjoy the fruits of the garden if you're not willing to get in here and work it. And I didn't, and I love lemon cucumbers. And I went to take the lemon cucumber, and my grandmother said, when was the last time you came out and watered these cucumbers? When was the last time you pulled the weeds? I said, I don't know, Grandma. She goes, then these cucumbers are mine. I want this cucumber to be yours. I want this garden to be yours. And that means being a gardener, not just a tourist in the garden. So it is. So it shall be. And so we will let it be.